is not only was he a high producing agent, turned into coach, and then now he runs the Agent Rise program. He's got so many different new things, and I know we're going to talk about that later, so I don't want to give away all the cool stuff that Neil's doing. He's got years of experience in real estate and is really kind of helps people go from that sort of 10 to 100 sales as needed. So we're very excited to have him on board and really think about our business in a way that says, okay, if the market's down, how do I keep my business even? I mean, Neil, this is going to be your spotlight, man.
Let's go. Let's go. I'm excited. Today, we're going to be talking about how to get off that real estate roller coaster ride that I think a lot of us are on, where we try one thing one month and another thing another month, and we're just spinning our wheels. And how do we get going, and how do we get forward? So take this number down. If you've got any questions along the way, this is a direct line to me, 833-500-1135. Write this down. You can text me any questions. I'm going to be throwing a lot at you today. There's a lot of ways to build a real estate business, as you probably know this. And I'm going to give you a lot of ideas. And with that, you're probably going to have some questions. And so I don't want to be a stranger, and you can text me at any time, and I would be happy to answer those questions for you. All right. So the big idea, this is what I really kind of is my heart and soul behind real estate here, is I don't believe we need more ideas. I believe there's plenty of ideas out there. I believe what we all need is a clear plan that's congruent to you, like one that just gets you excited, one that you just can't wait to go out and do because it just feels so right. And even that, we look at doing difficult things in our real estate businesses, even when we look at doing difficult things, if you love the business and you love what you're doing and you're fired up about who you're serving, it becomes easy. All right. So get a clear plan that's congruent to you. And then there's that word consistency. We've got to stay consistent with our businesses. And a lot of us struggle with this. And I believe the reason we struggle with consistency is because we don't have a clear plan. We don't know what to stay consistent with. And so my goal and our goal for today is to help you get that clarity, get a plan that feels right to you, and then show you just how easy it is to stay consistent once you have that plan. The challenge that I see a lot of us are going through is there's just so many ways to build this business. There's so many, and what we call them shiny object syndrome, right? Where you try one thing one month and another thing another month, and you're just always struggling to try to find what works for you. So it sounds great, Neil. Yeah, build a clear plan that's congruent to me so I can stay consistent. But what should I pick? What is a framework, and how should I pick my plan?
Or my favorite is, this niche just came into my lap. So now I want to do the niche, right?
Yes.
You find it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And then it's like, when you find that niche, how do I play to this, and how do I make this a part of my business, right? And
absolutely.
Should I go all in? That's another great question that a lot of us have, right? So here is where I began. I think my journey is a lot of the same with very similar with a lot of you. Is I struggled my first 6 months. I sold one house in my first 6 months, and I just really spun my wheels. And what I realized was that I wasn't working according to my plan. I was told to call FSBOs and expireds. I was handed Tom Ferry scripts, and I was said, dial for dollars and list to live. And if you want to make it, this is what you got to go do. And so that's what I set out to do, but it wasn't congruent to me. It didn't feel right. I actually hated every moment of it. And I remember one day I even cried on the way home from the office, because I'm like, if I have to do this in order to build my business, this isn't for me. And then I realized that I just needed a plan that worked for me. I needed to have my plan. And so I realized that I just needed to have a way to engage with people, that as soon as I could talk to somebody, then it was good. And as soon as I had a lot of relationships, and I just needed to work those relationships. And I created what I now call, and what I'm going to show you here today, I created my 3-pillar plan. And it started out by me mailing monthly newsletters. And believe it or not, I'm still a big believer in monthly newsletters. I have seen them work in my career and on the hundreds of agents that I've coached. And it just is one of these things that works. And I thought, back in the day, I thought, man, newsletters are going to be an outdated thing. I thought today I would be done talking about newsletters, but they've actually gotten stronger.
So talk to me
Yeah.
about the newsletters. Let's take 2 seconds here.
Yeah.
Are these email newsletters or are you sending paper newsletters?
Yeah, I'm sending paper newsletters.
So
I'm
you're going old school. You're saying, okay,
yes,
even the
yeah.
digital way. No,
Yep.
I want something in somebody's mailbox tomorrow.
Yes, yeah. And the reason I am this way, okay,
Mhm.
it's not because I'm old and outdated, okay? It's seriously because it's where we get results. Inboxes are noisy and mailboxes are not, right? Our inboxes, how many emails do we have in our inbox? Our inboxes are noisy, but our mailboxes are not. And so I go to my mail and there's hardly anything in there, right? And so that's where we're consistently reaching people. And again, the reason I love mail is because everybody knows another agent, right?
Mm.
And our people may know us, they may know we're real estate agents, they may even trust us, but the question we have to ask is, do they trust us with their real estate? And when we mail them a monthly newsletter month after month, that shows that others are trusting us and shows articles that we're writing and information that we're putting out there for them, and shows us like the author of authority, or the authority of the author, right? We put all of that together, we're building trust. And so when you sit month after month, year after year, they're seeing, hey, this person's taking their business seriously, and that's why they work. All right. So I started mailing my monthly newsletter way back in the day. Then I started doing open houses, and this is what I called my chase pillar. And then this is going to date me, but way back then social media wasn't a thing. So I started blogging, and this was what I call my 3-pillar plan. I went on to sell over 1,000 homes with my 3-pillar plan. I mean, I went from almost quitting and almost giving up to seeing clarity in my plan and then working my plan every single day. And when you've got a clear plan that's congruent to you, and then you do what I'm going to show you here with day blocking and everything else, I'm telling you, the plan, it just starts to work. All right. So how do you build the 3-pillar plan? What is the secret to get off that roller coaster ride? To me, it's that 3-pillar plan. And I look at it this way. I see that the common way, the way that most of us are building our businesses, is that we're trying something long enough to see if it works. Right? Like, I'm going to give this a shot. I'm going to mail these postcards and see how many responses I get. I'm going to, sign up for this online leads and see how these leads are. And I'm going to try this and try that. And I'm just going to do it long enough to see if it works. Then that leads us to shiny object syndrome. And that leads us to starting over. And we're constantly starting over, and we're suffering from what I call a switch cost. Like, you start one thing and it doesn't work. You're on to the next thing. You're going to be switching, and you're always wondering what to do. And this is what leaves you on that commission roller coaster. The 3-pillar plan way, the way I'm going to show you here today, it's a clear plan that fits you. It aligns with your strengths. And because of that, it's easier to stay consistent and stay on track. You see the vision. And once you see the vision, you just got to keep working. A lot of us are familiar with the book Think and Grow Rich, where it talks about 3 feet from gold. A lot of us quit 3 feet from gold. But when you have a direct roadmap, it's easier to get there. And a result of all of this is you know what to do every single day. A lot of us as agents do not know what to do every single day. We wake up and we're like, what are we going to do today? I'm going to try to record a video today. I guess I'm going to try to, like, we don't have a plan.
Having a plan for your day is huge, especially as an agent. I mean, there's so many, like you said, the shiny object syndrome, right? I can sit there and create a TikTok today, but if that's not my core business, then why am I creating a TikTok today, right?
Right. Let's dive into this here. So the first key to building this is that you've got to have a clear plan that you're excited about and that plays to your strengths. All right. I've learned that if you do things in this business you're not excited about, you won't do them long. You might do them if you got a coach pushing you and you're going to go far enough, but you won't do them long. So our goal here is to have one that you're excited about and one that plays to your strengths. The 3 different pillars that we're talking about here are the sphere of influence, the chase, and the attraction. Let me go over these in a real quick broad stroke here. So The sphere of influence is your clients, your friends, your family, your peeps, people that you go to church with, people that you play basketball with, people that are in your Rotary group, people that are in your BNI group, people that are in any sort of networking, or your previous job, or your spouse's friends, or your spouse's previous job, anybody that you know in your community, or anybody that would be supporting your business in any way. I recommend that you start out with a list of around 100, but eventually this list gets to over 300, okay? And so that is your sphere of influence pillar. The chase pillar is the pillar that is meant to get you out of your comfort zone. It's meant to get you to go out there and get it. It's going to be you do some difficult things. Like I said, it's going to get you out of your comfort zone, but it's going to get you out there. It's going to be the rocket booster to your business. It's the part of the like we talk about, we got to get in the trenches with buyers and sellers. This is going to do that. This is going to get you out there. Some examples that I'll go over, like open houses and online leads and FSBOs and expireds. Like open houses, you could do one today and meet a buyer today and sell them a house tomorrow, right? So it's that action pillar. It's meant to get you out there. Now, the attraction pillar is the opposite. It's meant for you to put content out, either social media, YouTube, blogging, the list goes on. It's meant to put content out and attract business in, and attract people to you that want to work with you. And so again, it's best known as like social media and YouTube and blogging. All right. So these are the three different pillars: the sphere, the chase, and the attraction. And if you look at this in a broad stroke, you kind of see this as like, wow, I'm kind of covering my entire business. If I have something in each of these pillars, I'm covering it all, right? And I've got a very well-rounded business. And to dive a little deeper, here is each option in the chase pillars, or I'm sorry, in the three pillars. And what you're going to do here is you're going to pick out options that you're excited about, that you see on this list and you say, oh my gosh, I could do that. So let's go into this a little bit deeper. The sphere of influence pillar, it's all about building a database, sending an announcement letter, and then mailing monthly newsletters. Big believer in mailing monthly newsletters. Then beyond that, you can do Popeyes, client events, deal of the week email, CMA a day, where you send somebody in your sphere every single day. You send out an unsolicited CMA, or HomeBot, where you do a home evaluation, where every single month they get an email with their value of their home, or a VIP program, or a VIP rental program. I had a whole storage unit full of stuff that my clients could rent for me for free. I had a courtesy moving trailer and moving totes and dollies and blankets and all of the things that you would need for moving. I had pressure washers and wheelbarrows and all of the things that people would maybe use once or twice around their home. They could rent it from me. So you could build something like that. All right. Now, some other options, in this is you can do handwritten notes and holiday cards and home anniversary cards. There's a lot of additional things that you can do for your sphere. But what you're seeing here is this is one pillar of your business. Now, stick around, because I'm going to give you the steps to take to be able to build all of this out. But just know that these are the options to be able to put into your business. Now, the chase pillar, the ones that are in blue, are kind of the OG chase pillars. These are the ones that have been around for years, and these are the tried and true ones. And the ones below that are all niches. So you could work in a specific niche for your chase pillar. And that, Josh, you brought that up earlier as a great option. Sometimes you find this niche and you're like, how do I fit this into my business? Well, the chase pillar would be the place for that.
Absolutely.
It's great. So the open house, the OGs are open house, online leads, FSBOs and expireds, geo farming, and door knocking. And the niches, there's a whole list of them here, and they go from anywhere from working with seniors to working with investors to first-time home buyers, probate estates. The list goes on. All right. So those are all options for the chase pillar. And again, you pick one. You see one of them on the board here, and you're like, open houses. I've got tons of listings, opportunities in my office. I could do open houses for days. I'm going to set up open houses, and I'm going to be the open house king or queen, and I'm going to go all in. And that's what you pick for a chase pillar. Okay. So the options here are, a lot of different options. You pick what one is most exciting to you. Now, onto the attraction pillar. Social media, we're all doing social media, right? And there's a lot of different frameworks for social media. I have a favorite framework for Facebook. I have another favorite framework for Instagram. I have a different framework for YouTube. And so what we say is you pick your framework, find your voice, and away you go. And if you've got a framework to follow and you've got your voice, meaning you've got you know how you want to communicate and what you want to share, then the rest is history, and away you go. So for example, for Facebook, we love the see, like, and ask. This is where you need to have a post where people see you being a real estate agent. They need to you have to have posts where they like you, meaning they have things in common with you. And then the third post is an ask post. And so you follow this simple framework: see, like, and ask. We give you a whole bunch of examples. If you want examples, just reach out to me. No big deal. Just shoot me a text, and we can get you the list of 150 different examples. But this see, like, and ask framework just keeps things going on YouTube. All right. Another framework that we're big fans of, I'm sorry, that keeps it going on Facebook. Another big framework that we love is for YouTube is the moving to and living in framework. The things to know before moving to, the pros and cons of moving to, the cost of living in, the things to avoid when moving to, all that good stuff, right? So, and then going deeper with neighborhood tours and going wider with comparing your city versus other cities. And this framework has been around for a while. A lot of us know this framework and have seen it, but a lot of us are still intimidated and feel like we're too late. And we also don't realize the power of YouTube and just how awesome the leads that come in from YouTube really are. And so a lot of us are shy about getting onto YouTube. We're huge believers in YouTube. I have not seen another attraction pillar ever change somebody's business like I have with YouTube. I've seen agents, do well on social, on Facebook and on Instagram. But on YouTube, I'm just seeing agents absolutely crush it.
Well, and I want to touch up on even YouTube just a little extra. We actually did have somebody on a while ago to talk about YouTube specifically and creating content that works for a specific audience that's looking for your personality. So she noticed that a lot of people liked her type A personality. So what she was doing was saying like, hey, I'm going to give you the straight cut and facts on staging a home, like the do's and the don'ts. And I'm going to be very direct about this. And that works for some audiences and that worked for her audience. Whereas she noticed when she wasn't herself and she was being more, wishy-washy about a topic, it wasn't working. And the amount of business that she gained from YouTube alone, it would just blow your mind. And it was all because A, authenticity, but B, you never know what audience you're going to resonate with best until you get some videos going.
Amen. I'm telling you, and the leads that come in from YouTube, they're just, they call you and they're like, I can't believe I'm talking to you, Neil. Is it really you? And then, will you help us buy a house? Like, it's absolutely amazing. And again, it's a framework, right? We have the top 10 videos. Again, if you want them, let me know. We have the top 10 videos to record to get the algorithm to understand that you're covering this content for your community. And then from there, we've got the best call to actions, the best hooks for the videos. I mean, all of it. It's just a framework. Just follow the framework. Let's keep moving. So you guys are starting to see the 3-pillar plan, right? The sphere, the chase, and the attraction, and the different options. And you go through these and you pick out what one works best for you. Let me give you a little insight of what my plan looks like, and then I'll share what some other plans look like too. But this is where I started. Again, I started with that newsletter. I started mailing a monthly newsletter. I called it the Mathweg Minute. I still send it to this day. It's unbelievable the amount of referrals that I get from it and the amount of business. I mean, it's proven that if we are sending 100 of them, you're going to do about 10 deals a year. And if you're selling 300 of them, you're going to do about 30 deals a year. And I've seen that over and over after mailing them for about 12 to 18 months. That's about the results that we see. So I started mailing monthly newsletters. I went all in in on open houses. Again, I started out calling FSBOs and expireds. I did some, other lead sources and stuff like that. But really where I found my spot was with open houses. And I got so good at open houses. And I did them every single weekend, and people would walk in and I would just pick up on what they were looking for. And I would just listen for their story or criteria and listen for their needs. And then I would just call them with options that would work for them. And I do what we call as matchmaking. So again, just simply listening for their criteria, and that you get just by asking them what they thought about the house that you're standing in. A lot of times they'll say like, hey, I love the house, but we need this. And now you're starting to pick up on their criteria. And then my third thing was, sir, go ahead, Josh.
Let me chime in one little piece
yes.
to that open house part, guys. If you're not already signed up, Show Ami does have requests for open houses throughout the US. So when he's talking about if that is the pillar that you are selecting, make sure you are signed up as a showing agent account and pick up some open house requests. I mean, and Neil did this all for free. Now people are being paid to go do open houses. So definitely take advantage of that.
You make open houses your jam. Take everything that I'm teaching you today and then get paid to go do open houses. I mean, come on, this is great. I love it. I forgot all about that. And the third thing that I did, and again, this dates me, is I did blogging and SEO. All right. Now, as my years went on, I added more, right? I added client events. I did quarterly client events. I did one big one every year for all clients, everybody. And it was called the Party in the Park. And I did that one annual client event. And then I also did some smaller events. I did a concert. I hosted a house concert and had 50 people come over, and we threw on a great party and had a house concert. I've done bowling. I've done baseball games. I've done golf outings. I've done a lot of different events, and client events is a great way for a face-to-face, and also a great way for me to touch base with them, because I struggled calling my sphere, but when I called them to invite them to an event, it was super easy for me. So client events was my another one of my sphere of influence pillars. And then I did Popeyes. I did annual Popeyes, and then I had that VIP rental program where I rented out a lot of things that they would need around the house.
So what is a Popeye?
Popeye, yeah. I'm sorry, I skipped right past that. A Popeye is just a gift. I got one right here. Jeremy Allen, agent that I coach, gave me his Popeye. So he has a mug, or he has these mugs, and he has a whole bunch of them in the trunk of his car. Okay. And whenever he's in somebody's neighborhood at one of his clients, he'll stop and drop off the mug. And a lot of people have the Ring doorbells, so he'll just hit the doorbell and then leave them a little message that, hey, I just dropped off a mug for you on the front porch. Or if they don't have a Ring, he'll record a video and text them really quick. But that's just a Popeye. It's just meant to drop in and say, hey, thank you for being awesome and being one of my clients. And we got these cool mugs, and I wanted to drop one off for you. You can do other Popeyes like, pies around Thanksgiving is a real popular one. Pumpkins, apples, things like, you could do food. We did cookie tins one year where we made a whole bunch of cookies. Like I said, we did it 1 year because it was such a nightmare. We didn't do it again, but we made cookie tins for all my clients. And, but you can do different things like that as well. Yeah.
I love it.
That's great. Awesome. And then my chase pillar was open houses. Like I said, this was my jam. But then as the years evolved, I started doing Facebook ads, mainly to drive traffic to my open houses. But then I got into Facebook ads and generating leads that we made this another chase pillar on my team. And then there was a season, 2012 to 2014 was prime expired season. We just got done with the recession, and there was so much inventory and so many expireds that I went all out on an expired campaign that included mail, and we even did radio advertising with it. I was the agent that could sell houses that other agents couldn't, and so that became another chase pillar in my career. And then I also worked with a lot of investors, and I did what we call as the investor ecosystem, which is where you focus on finding investors and matching them up with properties. And it's just, we call it matchmaking, and it's just matchmaking on steroids. All right. My attraction pillar was blogging and SEO. Later that became social media, the see, like, and ask. Later that became YouTube, and later that became podcasting. I did meetups and events, and all of this. I did I had a show called the I Love Madison show, and we would document Madison, and we would do I Love Madison meetups and I Love Madison food tournaments. And it was just a social media, I don't know, it was great. We created a lot of attention using this plan. All right. So that would be another webinar another time, but that is the idea behind my 3 different pillars. All right. So now the key to having the 3-pillar plan is to help you get your 30 to 60 engagements a week. All right. Now, stick with me here. This might get a little deep here, but what I've learned is that if we are talking to 30 to 60 people a week, that our businesses are always moving forward. We are in a contact business, and a lot of us don't know how to get those 30 to 60 engagements a week. A lot of us are like, yep, Neil, I get it. I know I need to talk to people, but man, where are these 30 to 60 people going to come from? All right. This slide right here breaks that down for us. And this is how I can begin to show you what your business looks like once you have these 3 pillars in place. All right. So your 3 pillars live up at the top: your sphere, your chase, and your attraction. Those are the lead sources. Right? When somebody says, I want more leads, well, we're going to go to your 3 pillars. That's where the leads are coming from. They're at the top of the funnel. Then all of those leads come into the middle for lead conversion, and that's called matchmaking. And matchmaking is, let me tell you the matchmaking story real quick. When it was in 2017, I had a lead come in from Facebook, and I had a great conversation with her. She told me everything that she was looking for, and she was looking in a neighborhood that I farmed, that I knew really, really well, and I knew exactly what she was looking for. And we had this great conversation, and then she had to go. She had another call come in, and she's like, hey, I'm so sorry, Neil. I got another appointment here, and I just started my new job. Let me call you back at the end of the day, and we can pick up right where we left off. And I'm like, sounds great. Well, she never called me back. And then the next day I called her and said, hey, Pam, sorry I missed you. Sorry you got cut off, but hey, would love to talk with you more and love to help you. And, just give me a call back when you get a chance. Never called me back. And a few days went by. I called her and left her another message. And now I'm thinking, man, I blew it. I must have said something or done something, or she probably met another agent. I don't know. I blew it. And then I got thinking, I'm like, you know what? I know what she's looking for. She told me the ideal property, so I know what she's looking for. So I just went on the MLS and just started looking for her property. And sure enough, a brand new listing that was not even on the MLS was popped up on the MLS, and it popped up in the coming soon, and it was exactly what she was looking for. So I call her, and I left her a different voicemail this time. I call her and I said, hey, Pam, I'm so sorry to bother you, but I was just looking through the listings. A brand new one just popped up. It's not even on the MLS yet. It looks like showings are going to begin on Thursday. It's right in Wyndham Hills. This one's actually across the street from the park. Give me a call back when you get a chance, and I'll tell you more about it. And it wasn't but 10 minutes later, and there's my phone ringing, and it's Pam. Neil, I'm so sorry. I've been so busy at my new job, but tell me about this property. And that's when I realized that this whole time I was calling and asking her for something, and I needed to call and give her something. And when I called to give her something, that was the difference maker. And I come running out of my office, and I'm like, guys, this is it. We call it matchmaker. And I started singing matchmaker. And we still sing that around the office. But that was the game changer right there. And that was the birth of matchmaking.
Well, you bring up a good point. It's calling with a purpose. It's calling not just to be a good follow-up, not just to stay top of mind, but to bring value. It's one thing for us to sit down and call and say, hey, could you give me a call back when it's convenient to you? It's another thing to call, like you said, and to say, look, I found the house that you're looking for. It's this address. Are you available on Saturday? And limiting the options too. I have found that one of the things that we worked on that really works on converting is the fewer options, the better, right? So saying, are you available Thursday? Instead of saying, when's your availability this week? Narrow it down. People actually like to make fewer choices because we make so many choices at work. We make so many choices when we come home that the last thing I want is to think about another choice that I have to make. So if you can narrow things down for your clients, it's going to help move them through the funnel a lot faster.
That's it. And I'm telling you, and you call them and you give them what they want, they get even more excited, right? You
Oh,
tell them about a
absolutely.
property.
100% agree.
And when I call, like on a cold lead, you don't give them a lot of details, right? On a cold lead, you call them and you give them a little bit to get you to call back. On a somebody that you're working with, then you give them all the details, right? But see, but with matchmaking, what you got to look at here too is it creates engagement, because if you've got a buyer looking, that means you have one half of the equation, and now you can go prospect on behalf of to go find the other half, right? So if you've got a buyer looking for a home, you could go out and you could prospect to get that buyer a home. You could send I have a buyer letters, you could door knock. There's a lot of things that you could do to go out there and find that home for the buyer. And then the opposite, when you got a listing, it's the other way, right? So matchmaking opens up the door. You got one half of the equation to create the other half. And so this is how you can get your engagements up. Another thing with engagements is when you're showing properties and you're writing offers and you're presenting offers and you're going to closings, those are all engagements as well, right? And those are all face-to-face engagements, one of the best ones. So this is how you can get 30 to 60 engagements a week just by following this plan, by having your 3 pillars up at the top, by matchmaking daily, and by servicing, writing offers, showing properties. That's how you're going to get those engagements in. All right. Now, the next thing with all of this, you got to have that clear plan. Then you're going to work it to get your 30 to 60 engagements a week. And now you need to follow these steps to build out your plan. So step number 1 is to build a database of around 100. Then send an announcement letter. Now, if you're a new agent, we want to send a new agent announcement letter. And if you're an existing agent that maybe hasn't done the best job of staying in touch with your sphere, you would want to send what we call is the reconnect letter. And the reconnect letter is a letter that says, hey, I haven't done the best job of staying in touch because I've been so busy, and thank you for the referrals, and people like you are keeping me busy, but I want to, from this day forward, do a better job with that. So it's kind of like I'm sorry, and it's kind of like a reconnect letter. All right. So that's going to be step number 2. Step number 3 is to start mailing the monthly newsletters. A company that I really like that does a great job with newsletters is Fast Newsletters. And it's letters plural at the end, fastnewsletters.com. And they're like $12 to $14 a month. They put the newsletter together for you. You just spruce it up, make it yours, have your personality on it, put your branding on it, and out it goes. All right. And so start mailing those monthly newsletters. And then step number 4 is to pick your chase pillar. So go through all of the options and what chase pillar is for me. And then step number 5 is to start matchmaking. List out all of your buyers, all of their criterias. You can do all of this in a spreadsheet, guys. If you got a great CRM, that's awesome, but you can put it all in a spreadsheet. And then after you've got your chase pillar rocking and matchmaker going, then you're going to get into systematizing your business. So you should have a system for buyer consultation, a system for listing appointments, or we call them listening appointments. You could have a system for writing offers, for presenting offers, for contract to close. Everything that you do repetitively has to have a system. And once you systematize your business, your confidence goes up, and you just invite more business in. It's just amazing how it works. All right. So step number 6 is to systematize your business. Step number 7 is to develop your attraction pillar. You're probably already doing social media, but double down once you get to step number 7, and maybe add a YouTube channel if that's in your future as well in step number 7. And then step number 8 is kind of like Dave Ramsey's baby steps. If you're familiar with that, it's like, just make a lot of money and give a lot of it away, and keep keep building. This is what step number 8 is to go back to step number 1 and build more with your sphere of influence. Add more to your sphere. Add, client events and pop-bys and add additional things. You've already got the newsletter going and you've already sent the announcement letter and you got that database built. And I should stop too with the database, because a lot of us don't have a database built. Right. So you've got that database built now. You've got those newsletters going. Now you could add even more. All right. So those are the steps to follow. And now it's all about staying consistent. Right. So now that we've got this awesome 3-pillar plan, and we've picked out all of our options. Now we've just got to keep going, right? We cannot quit 3 feet from gold. And the challenge is we don't know what to work on every day because we don't have a plan to work according to. And how can I get an amen in the chat if that is you? If you struggle working or struggle to know what to do every single day, this is going to help you figure all of that out so that you know what to do every single day. The solution that we've come up with for this is what we call is day blocking. All right. Now, I struggled with time blocking. I had every coach that ever coached me in my career tell me I need to time block. I need to time block. I need to time block. But boy,
that makes 2 of us.
Then you're the
Same
same
boat, brother.
Right.
I can't do the time blocking thing.
Right. Well, this one might help you, because once you've got your 3-pillar plan down, you can do what we call is day blocking. All right. And day blocking looks like this. The idea behind it is we've got all kinds of things to do throughout the day. And if every day works according to a day block that works according to my 3-pillar plan, and I just wake up and I know what to do on those days, then as long as I get it done before I go home, I'm done. All right. And I know that I'm always moving my business forward with a day blocker, because again, a lot of us struggle to turn it off. Right? Are we doing enough? Did I give it all I have? And I have learned that if I do my day blocker and if I hit my engagement numbers, then I can turn it off. Then I can be done, and I can detach from the outcome. I don't have to sit and worry all night and run things through my head. I can detach from that. All right. So this is what the day blocker looks like. And again, this is mine. You can make yours however you want. Take this concept and make it your own. But on Mondays, I call hot leads. And a hot lead is anybody that's in my matchmaker that I didn't matchmake with last week. I didn't find them a property. I didn't talk to them. And so those are my hot leads. And any new leads that came in over the weekend, or any sticky notes on my desk. I'm notorious for sticky notes. A lead would come in and I just would write stuff down. And so like any sticky notes, any collection that I need to do cleaning up, I do that on Monday. And of course, every day you see on here, every day I matchmake. All right. Tuesdays, I do my client update calls. Guys, this is gold. Like, just take this one thing from me and you'll thank me. I promise. Is call on Tuesdays everybody that's in pending and everybody that is got a listing with you. And if you do that every single Tuesday and do your Tuesday update calls, your clients will wait to talk to you on Tuesdays. They will bother you less. You'll have more boundaries. They'll also feel very informed, and they will give you a 5-star when it comes to communication. And before you make these calls, you gather information. Like if you're calling that seller that hasn't had a lot of activity and it's hard to make that call, but if you've got it scheduled for Tuesday and they know you're calling, gather as much information as you can and then report that on Tuesdays. Wednesdays is my sphere of influence day. This is the day that I work on my newsletters, my client events, my pop-bys, anything that I'm doing for my sphere, it's on Wednesdays. If I'm going to go have coffee with somebody from my sphere, I do it on a Wednesday. If I'm going to do CMAs for my sphere, I'm going to do that on Wednesday. So like anything that I'm doing for my sphere, it's on Wednesday. On Thursday, I work on my chase pillar. Mine was open houses and Facebook advertising, right? So open houses, I made sure all the signs were set up. I made sure that all the brochures were ready, that I was set, ready to go for the open houses. I made sure that the Facebook ads were running. I made sure that everything was ready to rock for that weekend, and I did all of that on Thursday. Friday was my attraction pillar day. So Friday was the day I created content. I loved going to the coffee shops on Friday and creating content for the next week. It was like my favorite thing in the world to do. But every Friday I was in a coffee shop. I usually have a closing in the morning, and then I would be at the coffee shop all afternoon creating content.
I can confirm that you will find Neil at a coffee shop on a Friday. Fun fact, that's actually how we met. I met Neil sitting down at a coffee shop on a Friday morning. He was just grabbing coffee on his way out. So very cool. Yeah. He does live and do as he says.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love it. Yeah, Josh made me feel really famous. We were at, he came up to me, "Are you Neil from Agent Rise?" And I had an Agent Rise shirt on, so I think he just Googled me, but he did make me feel really famous. It's funny. All right. So let me show you a couple more examples, and then I'll give you some links that you can go to get the report, the guide that will help you build all of this and all that goodies. So Jeremy Allen is an agent that I coach up in Virginia Beach. And the really, really awesome thing about Jeremy is when he started, he knew one person in Virginia Beach, and that was his sister. And today you should see his client events, guys. They're unbelievable. He has well over 300 raving fans, and his events, I think he had 200 and some people come to his last client event. So just absolutely awesome. Now, again, when Jeremy started, he knew one person. So how did he build this? Well, he did, the chase pillar was FSBOs. So he started calling FSBOs, and that got him in the trench right away and started putting some deals together. Then he did some networking. He got his newsletter rolling. And he just, every person that he met, he added to his sphere, and he would go networking. He would meet one or two people and he would add them to their sphere. He would do FSBOs and expires. Every person he met, he would add them to the sphere. Then his social media, he did a lot of see, like, and ask on social media. Now he's got his YouTube channel rolling, and now he's also doing Facebook groups. He's in a military town and does a lot of PCSing and is involved in a lot of Facebook groups. So all of this built up his database. He did over 50 sales last year. I don't know if he's going to hit the 100 number, but he keeps scrolling this year. I'm sure it won't be long. He'll be to 100. But again, knew one person when he began. So if that's you, like if you're new to a town and you don't know a lot of people, just follow Jeremy's playbook. It worked for him. All right. Bobby is an agent out in Oregon. Bobby she was 10 years in the business, and she just could not find her plan. She was struggling so much, constant roller coaster ride. She did not like social media. She wasn't confident in reaching out to her sphere, and she had no hope for a chase pillar. I asked her who is her favorite client, who is she loved working with, and she mentioned that she loved working with seniors. And so I asked her, what if you became a senior home coach? What if you specialized in working with seniors and you made it your niche? And guys, she lit up. This is that example that I talk about where you just got to get excited about your plan. And when you do, you just light up. And since she's worked with only seniors, so she's doing senior expos and senior conferences, and she's networking with senior living facilities and relocation specialist and transportation specialist and anybody in her community that works with seniors, she is networking with them. That has also helped her reach her sphere. She feels better about what she's offering, and also her social media came alive because all she's doing is promoting everything that she's doing with seniors, right? So this is an example of once you find that 3-pillar plan, it just lights you up and away you go. Well, let's start building your 3-pillar plan. Let me show you how you can do that. You've got two choices. One, you can take everything that I'm showing you here today and all of I'm going to give you a guide here in a second. You can take that. I've also got the Agent Rise book, which is available on Amazon. You can get this. We also have the podcast. I've got over 400 and I think we're almost up to 470 episodes now. So I've been podcasting before podcasting was even cool. So all of that. So you've got those two choices. You can either try and do all of this on your own and take all of the things that I gave you today, or if you'd like, I would love to be able to help you build your plan. And we've got both small group coaching, and we also have the DIY Academy. So for $97 a month, you can go into the Academy and take my training and build out your entire plan. Or you can join our small group coaching where you're with us every other week. You and no more than 5 agents are in that group. So it's a group of 6. So you and up to 5 other agents. And we meet every other week to go through your plan and keep you moving forward. All right. So again, you can do it on your own, or you can do it with us. And either way, we would love to help you. You can get this guide. Just text the word action to 833-500-1135. It's that same number that I gave you at the very beginning. And we'll send you right away. We'll send you the 3-pillar plan guide. So you can take that. It'll have all of the different options, the steps, everything that you need. Then you can book a strategy session with me. And if you do that, we give you 1 free month of the Academy.
So thank you so much, Neil, for joining us. Have a great day, guys.
Have a great day, guys.